fast API demo that Rishit will be showing to all of you. But yes, apart from this, I also wanted to quickly showcase another one. So, how many of you are aware of machine learning pipelines, or might have heard about this term ML pipelines? Anyone has previously probably heard of Kubeflow? So there are a number of different data orchestration platforms like Kubeflow, Flight, and which allow you to basically take your entire MLOps cycle and then convert them into specific workflows. So you can think of, like, let's say the model training as a separate workflow. You can have your model testing and model deployment as specific workflows. Right? You're basically dividing them into various tasks. So another example that I just want to quickly showcase is with the Flight. So over here, basically the docs section. So and I'll just quickly search for Prometheus. So as we showed an example for Sendil, if you were, like, let's say using Flight for an example for being able to run your workflows, machine learning workflows. So Prometheus is directly embedded into your machine learning workflows with Flight. So you get metrics out of the box, and then you'll find that there are some published dashboards to monitor the Flight deployments. Again, this is related to your MLOps with the help of Flight by using the Flight workflows. So you can take a look at this as well, and again, we'll be more than happy to share some examples. But what we just want to showcase through these examples is that today, like, Prometheus plays an extremely important role in the MLOps lifecycle. So if you are looking to embed that, you have a number of different integrations out of the box that you can set up locally in your systems and start to monitor the performance. And we'll also see an example for a native fast API that Rishit will be showing to all of you.
Okay, so I'll show another demo, and yeah, let me get it. I think it's up now. Yes, it is. So now we'll take a look at the fast API demo, and the idea of these demos is actually to show two very popular ways of deploying machine learning, or doing MLOps, and we just want to show you how we have integrated Prometheus into that. But again, you're not limited to what we of course show in the demo. You can make it work with other platforms. We just want to share how we have done it with these platforms and apply these ideas to other platforms. So we'll take a look at fast API, which is probably one of the most popular ways to deploy a machine learning model as well. And so setting some context for this demo, what we want to do is create a REST service to expose the model, not something we'll be doing in this talk. And let's just say it's been done for us. What next we want to do is instrument the server to collect the metrics, which might probably be exposed by a separate metrics endpoint from the REST API we have created for our model, and we use the Prometheus fast API instrumentator, which allows us to collect metrics from a fast API deployment. What we'll also be showing will be how to show the data distribution your model is right now working under, the data distribution the model was trained on. So essentially all the aspects which we just covered in the slides. So we'll also be showing that, and then of course we want to use Prometheus to collect and store metrics, and we just add a layer of Grafana to visualize the collected metrics, not something we focus a lot on in this talk, but yeah, we do have the code for that, and we'll just be showing it. And if you want to try this out for yourself, so especially some of the things like data distribution. What data distribution does your model operate under? It's pretty hard to see with a single request. So we also have some code. So it's actually I've been running some code since morning to which is essentially using Locus to simulate requests. Hundreds of requests it has been simulating since the morning. So that will also allow us to kind of see some of the other aspects of machine learning in action, which we particularly wanted to see with this talk, which we particularly wanted to show with this talk. Sorry. No, not thank you. let's go to the demo. Yes, not here. Great. So let's start with the model. We don't want to talk a lot about the model, but we'll start with the model and then work our way up. I'll directly start with the Docker file. I have a fast API deployment now, and I also have a model up. My model is trained, and I have a Docker file up to make an image out of it, and now I'll be using this fast API deployment. Because we don't really want to talk about training a model and all that in the demo, so yeah. Then what I want to talk about is the dashboard. Then what I want to talk about is the model.yaml file. We have a deployment here which makes a REST API for our model, which is pretty standard. And we also have a service here. The service allows us to expose the REST API and then use it. So those are two of the things we are doing. And then we also have a service monitor. So of course, the service monitor should be in the same space that namespace that Prometheus is running. So Prometheus can automatically get and collect the data from it. That is what we'll be. So that is another service, another resource we have. We'll also deploy a service monitor. So okay, where are these three resources deployed? So now, of course, you can use something else. I'm just using Civo because I've been using it. I've made a Kubernetes cluster, deployed the resources I talked about, the REST API, a service monitor, and a service. I've deployed all of that on this Civo cluster. Of course, you can use whatever cloud you like. But just for this demo, we'll be using Civo. So with that, let's go full screen. And okay, so we have our model.yaml file, and then we actually have the dashboard itself. So some of the things we'll be doing in the dashboard to make sense of the data given to us by Prometheus. For example, is identifying what distributions these data falls under. And to do this, we'll actually use and we'll actually leverage some of the functionality by Grafana to do this, and which is pretty simple. You are making a heat map out of it, and then you can simply see, and you can then simply compare it with the original distribution the model was trained on. So this is one of the things that we are doing on our Grafana dashboard. With that, now we have set up a REST API deployment for our model. We also have a service monitor, and I've already deployed Prometheus. I'm using Prometheus stack here, so I've already deployed Prometheus for us in the cluster. All of this is pretty intuitive up until now, at least the deployment part, the part which wasn't, I just showed that on the screen. But at least deploying all of these is pretty intuitive. So that's what we have done until now. We have also created a dashboard using the model.json, which is what Grafana will be using to make sense out of the metrics collected by Prometheus. So I already have. So I'm just forwarding code here to get the Grafana dashboard, and let's actually take a look at the Grafana dashboard. I particularly want to see one of the demos. All of this is, by the way, open source, so you can feel free to try out everything, see how we have implemented other things. But right now, the part which I talked about, which distributions are the requests under, is something we'll be showing. But we also have some other things which we'll show in the Grafana dashboard, but not go into everything right now due to time. So another thing, so we have deployed all of this until now. What we have also deployed, just to better understand, is locusts. So let's close this. Let's open our load test. So we actually have a locust file, which is another pod we are running to make continuous requests. so we can just understand and see some data on the Grafana dashboard, see the heat map being made for different distributions. So that's what we have until now, and let's actually go to our Grafana dashboard, which I was talking about. And you can actually see requests have been coming in since quite some while. It's actually on since morning, and this shows what the model score is, especially the model prediction distribution. All of these are like random requests I'm sending, so I can see the different bins. All of the data is in. I can see the different bins the model has been predicted the data is in. So as we were talking about in the slides, this is something pretty useful for machine learning use cases, which is why we want to see. So some of the other things so this is of course what we would call the model metrics, and then we also have the service. So in the model metrics, we are also showing model score. So model score is so the model score is essentially a way to say how good my model is performing, get an estimate of it. Of course, we haven't seen the data earlier or trained on it, but it at least allows the model score at least allows us to get an estimate of how this works. We won't be going into the mathematical models right now. We just saw it for model prediction distribution, but all of this is open source. You can take a look at it. Okay, so with that, so those are the model metrics. We have also monitored service metrics and resource metrics, which are pretty straightforward, so I'll not talk a lot about them. But with that demo, I come to the end of my talk, and this time for real, thank you.
Just to summarize one last point is that you can use Prometheus as a very effective tool in all the different formats of during especially the time when you're training model and then post the training when you have put it into production to view the metrics and then of course monitor the overall health of your machine learning models. So yeah, I mean if you have any questions, we'll love to answer them now.
Yep. If not right now, then you can always find both of us on Twitter, and thank you.